Hello and thank you for tuning in to my video. Today I'm gonna be talking about what's it like to hear voices. I've heard quite a lot of voices, and yeah, I'm just gonna talk a little bit about it today, and I hope you enjoy. So, when I first started to hear voices, I was 19. It was the beginning of my psychosis. I did not know I had a psychosis, but I had one. And yeah, in the beginning they were like kind of low. They were not really too loud, and it was like very confusing when I heard the voices because I just did not know if it was real. I thought that somebody actually talked to me. So it was very confusing in the beginning. Um yeah, and I remember one of the first times I heard a voice, it was at work. I was working in Barcelona, and I don't know, for some reason I said introvert to myself, like I talked to myself because I just had a social interaction and I was very awkward. And I just said, like, oh, introvert. And then I heard this voice says, yeah, you know. It just in my language where I'm from, and I was in Spain, so I was like, whoa, there's nobody here is speaking my language, but I heard this voice just saying yeah in my language, and so I was looking around at the office at my work, and I was really confused because yeah, as I mentioned, nobody there was from my country, so it would be pretty weird that someone then just spoke my language suddenly. And another time in the beginning when I was hearing voices, I was running on the beach in Barcelona, and I was like blasting music into my headphones, and I was like, it was really loud, and then I stopped my running because I was exhausted, and then I heard this lady voice said, "Oh no, he stopped." And that was so confusing to me because my music was super loud, but the voice was like not really loud. It was very normal speaking, and I was just wondering how that was possible, because my music was super loud and nobody was like really nearby. So I put out my headphones and I looked around and I was thinking like, whoa, who the fuck was that and what was that? So yeah, that was in the beginning. Just like not too much, just very confusing. And then it escalated to voices coming out of people's mouth that I was speaking to, but it was them not really speaking what I was hearing. And I know that because I was at a party, and I talked to my friend Richard, and I remember he said something very, very strange to me. And I was thinking about it all night, and I was like, whoa, that was super weird. And I don't, unfortunately, I don't remember exactly what it was, but I remember I had the courage to go up to him, and I was like, bro, did you say this to me earlier? And he was like, no, man, I did not say that. And then I said, okay, I think something is wrong with me. Yeah, but when I returned home to my country, it got really, really bad. The voices started screaming at me. They were like yelling at me. They were saying stuff like, "Oh, you are a loser, and you are skinny. Your girlfriend cheated on you. You are nothing." Just really, just really bad tripping on me, like bullying me almost. I would say it was probably bullying, yeah. And it was like five voices just really like putting me down, like, you are nothing, you're a loser, you're skinny, your girlfriend cheated on you, and you're just like blah blah blah, like really screaming at me. And that was really, really strange, of course. But it was mostly when I actually smoked weed. The voices were like really, really bad. and I did not know that I had a psychosis at the time. I knew that something was wrong, but I don't know. I did not really talk to anyone about it, so I had these voices, and I don't know why. I should probably have reached out to a friend or a family member and saying I have this thing, but I think when you're mentally ill, you don't really know what's going on, and therefore it's hard to speak to somebody about it because you just don't really know what's going on. So yeah, it escalated to like bullying, and I think actually the worst or the most confusing moments when they were not so loud, because then it was like so real, like at 3 a.m. in the night, and it's like a voice that whispers or it's very low. It's like, bro, somebody in my room, or it was just a little bit more real because I knew for a fact that at 3 in the night that nobody would be screaming, so it was easier to like decide whether it was real or not when they were screaming, other than when they were like speaking like really low or not so loud, because it just felt more like real. And yeah, so that's it. I don't hear voices anymore, but I have heard a lot of voices, and it just becomes super normal for me to talk about. And the voices, I mean, it just made my head hurt because I was so confused about it, and I was really thinking about it, like what the fuck was that? And I remember the worst times were when my headset run out of battery or charging, because then I actually heard the voices even more. But when I had my headset in and listening to music or watching like series or something, I could like, how do you say, I could navigate through the voices because I was focusing on hearing music or watching a movie. So when my headset did not have any more battery, I was like, "Fuck me, man! This sucks." Now I'm like really paranoid again, So yeah, hearing voices is really bad, and it's really dangerous as well, because people that my voices did not tell me to do anything really. They did not say go kill this guy or go say hi to this person or something like that. They did not tell me to do anything, but they just talked about me, saying I was ugly and shit like that. So I think it's super dangerous for mentally ill people when the voices tell them to actually hurt somebody. I think that's really dangerous, especially if they have schizophrenia or psychosis. I mean, yeah, sometimes people get killed for stuff like that, and that's crazy, man. So yeah, hearing voices, that's something else. Not gonna lie, man, not gonna lie. And as I mentioned, I don't hear them anymore, but I will never forget the feeling, because when you hear voices, you started to get paranoia, and it can trigger hallucination or delusions, So it's not a good thing, and it's really dangerous for some people. And luckily for me, I did not hurt anybody during the times I was hearing voices, and yeah, I'm thankful for that. And yeah, thank you for watching my video, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.